Now we're going to look at how to open Photoshop, reset the settings. So, and then we also look at how we can open different files, different ways we can put files into Photoshop. So, let's look at it. So, start with Photoshop. We're going to reset the settings. So you press on, once you click Photoshop icon, whether from your task bar or from the menu, press and hold down Shift, that is Shift Control Alt if you are using Windows, or Command Alt Shift if you are using Mac. So once you've done that, you see this. You say delete Adobe Photoshop settings. So we're going to say yes. The essence of this is so that we're going to be on the same page. Maybe we've done some settings, we've moved our panels, so this will be cleared and restore Photoshop to the default settings. So Photoshop is loaded now. This is our home screen. So because we've reset the Photoshop settings, there's nothing listed here, no previous work is listed here. So for us to start a new project, a new file, we can open different types of file, image files, even video files can be opened in Photoshop, but that is not what we are dealing with today. So to open Photoshop file is either you drag from a folder on your computer, or you select one here, or you go to open here by your right, by your left. So I'm going to just click this one so that we'll get an image from our system. So I will navigate to a folder on my laptop. So let's pick this particular one. So open. The file is open now. You can see it's loaded, and the visible area that we can see here is called the hardboard. We'll go through that later. So how do we open another one? We can simply come back here and say open. So here we can just let's pick one here. So that is one way of open. You can see each of them are opening an individual tab. You can see this is the tab 1, this is the second file, then we can also simply come to our folder and just simply drag. So if I drag here, okay, let me push this one aside. I can drag here. If I drag here, it's going to create another layer in this document. So I'm going to move it here. You can see. So you can see. So we have this tab, we have this tab, we have this tab. So you can open, you can drag and drop image file, JPEG. You can see these are JPEG, JPEG, JPEG. But you can also open Photoshop file also. But there's one application I want to introduce to you. It's called Bridge. So I encourage everyone to install it. What Bridge does is that you have a preview of files you want to, even if it's a Photoshop file, any file type, you can see. This one is an image file, this is a PSD file. Look at this is a PSD file. It's been previewed. But if I come here, I go into my Photoshop folder, you can see the icon is the icon I'm seeing. It's not going to be previewed. The files will not be previewed, right? So that is it. So whatever I want, but before then, be sure that, because if you don't go to if the file association is not set properly in the preference, in a wrong file will open it. So in this file association, we are going to look for PSD, JPEG, PNG. Make sure that you set them to be opened by Photoshop. You can see this set to be opened by Photoshop, this set to be opened by Photoshop. So you need to So it's very simple. Simply come here and say browse and go to the program installation folder and pick the exe file of that project if you are working on Windows. So that is how it is done. Let's say I want this Nigerian boy. I'll simply double click because it is set to be open with Photoshop in Bridge. So that's what the Bridge does. In addition to that, Bridge also gives you opportunity to tag your file. Look at here, you can change a lot of things. You can, add your copyright. These are what we call metadata. All this information can be used to track this image or pin it to you as the owner of the image, right? So that is about that. You can read more about Bridge on Adobe website. So I will encourage you to install it. I use it a lot because for the fact that I can browse and load. Okay, for example, look at this poster. So if it's PSD, if I double click it, so you can see there is a PSD. We're able to open it and you have tab, 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 tab. How do you close your tab? Just come here, click here, click here, click here, click here. That's all. Then you can close Photoshop by coming here. So